Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of my knitting podcast in this 2026 year. My name is Maria. I am a Romanian knitter who lives and knit in Norway. I live at about 25 kilometers from Bergen. And today it is the first day after many days with in between 0 and 2 degrees Celsius with plus, not with minus. And it's Saturday. It is February, I forgot, 4, 5, 6, 7th. Yes, I'm home alone. Well, me and my dog. And I thought to make a new episode. I talked a little bit that in my previous episode that this year the knitting podcast will be different. I won't share tons of projects in my videos. I'm trying to keep them short and to keep a better track on my projects. I have some goals for this year. My goals are one of them is to try new yarns, but this will be very slowly because of the budget, of course. And another goal is to go through all the whips I have on my needles to finish them, and if there is something that doesn't speak to me anymore, to unravel that project. Also, another goal is to do something with the leftovers that are stressing me a lot. But I will talk more about it once I reach the subject. Now, in today's episode, I have, as I said, a finished object. It is what I am wearing. Let's start with the name of the project. So this is the Temee sweater, and it is by the designer Sarah Solomon. I think this is a project that was published initially in a knitting magazine, but I don't know exactly which one. But I think it's not. I think it's maybe something Korean. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mistaking this. Why I am mentioning this is because usually Sarah Solomon's knitting patterns are very detailed but not overwhelmed. And this one is much shorter, but still you have all the information you need to work this sweater. Now, in terms of the construction, this is a bottom-up knit by piece sweater. So as usual, you start with the back, work the back, shape the back, and then work the front and shape the front and so on. And then you work separately the sleeves. And in the end, you have to sew the pieces together. I was very how should I say, interested in knitting this sweater because of the texture. So at first sight, it might look complicated. I mean, the cables, but actually I was so surprised to notice that it's actually a 24 stitches repeat, and the chart has only 8 rows, and it's very easy to memorize and to work without following the chart. And this was a really nice surprise. And when I printed the pattern, I work the best when I have them printed. So I was searching the charts in my mind, were the charts, and I found the first one, or what I thought it is the first one. And then I said, okay, I don't know maybe this is for the sleeves. I didn't even have the patience to read the title of the chart. And I was searching in the pattern, and there was no more charts. And I thought, oh, okay, let's see what's with this chart. This is everything I need to work on this sweater. So it was a very, very nice surprise. The hardest part? The hardest part is that I am not happy with my finished project at all. Yes, I tried this because I finished this a couple of days ago, and I tried this, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. And my husband also was at home, and he was seeing me trying the sweater after it was dried. And he said, but you're not looking quite happy. And I've said, I'm not happy at all. I don't have mirrors in my house, although I should buy I don't know, a big one so I can see myself trying on my knitting and my dresses and pair them, how to pair them. So I saw myself in the window because it was it was in the night, and I used the window as a mirror. I will I will not stand up, but I will insert a B-roll so you can see what I am talking about. Now, as a disclaimer, this is not the fault of the pattern. So the pattern, it is meant to be like this. It is my fault for envisioning this sweater other than it is supposed to be. Let me tell you about one of the things that bothers me, but I got used with. So let's say this is something I can live with the sweater. So as you can see, being a knit by piece a garment has a beautiful shaping from the underarm to shoulder. And when I saw the picture of the model, I thought, okay, maybe she's wearing an oversized one. Maybe she's wearing, I don't know, 2, 3 sizes more than her normal size. Because on the model also this part is off the shoulder. And okay, I choose to make size 2, but I really, really didn't expect to have this sew down on my arm. I mean, if I am pulling this up, this is what I wanted actually. You know, this part here, the shaping, it is so nice. And I feel like I should put this differently in words. So I love to knit by pieces, although it is not comfortable at all, because I know that at the end I will have this shaping, beautiful shaping around my arm, shoulder, underarm, and so on. And this is one of the reasons that I keep from time to time knitting patterns that are made by pieces because of this result. I love it. I think it's the one that fits me the best. However, I feel that with this sweater, the best part that is always attractive for me, it's lost. However, as I've said, I got used with it because this is the pattern. I mean, I've made size 2, so I didn't make a size way bigger than my circumference. So to say, okay, it's because I choose the wrong size. It's because it is meant to be like this. What I don't understand is why do you need to do so much shaping if you won't take advantage on it, on the shaping, because it's falling off the shoulder. So it's not the same having it here like this. I mean, it could have been just a normal drop shoulder, right? Without all this shaping. Um, it's not like this. It's not like you can see this beautiful part and what makes a difference in between this type of construction and just a regular, I don't know, top down drop shoulder or something more basic, let's say like this, and more easy at the end to make, right? So yeah, this, I'm so sorry I lost this. If I'm looking back and if I would have realized that I will lose this part because it will fall off the shoulder more than I imagine, I would have changed this. I would have made size 1 or even this size, but I would have definitely made more shaping, even more than this original pattern has. This way I could have had this up where in my mind it should be. Okay, um, let's talk about another mistake I've made. The sleeves. The sleeves are long, as you can see, and they keep growing. Now, again, it is my fault because up to here, so you start at the bottom with the cuff, but up to here, there is no increase. So I could have skipped the first chart repeat and start directly with the increases, and I would have saved like almost 5 centimeters, which would have turned out into something like this sleeve. It didn't happen, so I end up with these long, very long sleeves. I will stand up so you can see how long actually they are. Okay, so this is, let's say, my mistake, because if you will see the pictures of the pattern, you will see that this is the way the sweater it is supposed to be. Okay, so this is something that bothers me, but let's say I could get used with these sleeves. I could. What I cannot get used with is the way the hem is sitting on my body. And I hope I've made that b-roll so you can see what I am talking about. So this sweater is, how do you say, flaring out in not not the best way. I followed exactly the instructions of the pattern. If you are asking me to choose aesthetically in between 1x1 ribbing and 2x2 ribbing, like on this sweater, aesthetically I will choose 2x2. I think it's beautiful. I think it looks so different than one by one, and it gives such a beautiful look to the garments. But if I need to choose in between strength, I will definitely choose the one by one ribbing, at least for hems. Now, this was a bottom up construction, and again, I feel it's my fault. Of course, it's my fault because the pattern, it is meant to be like this. It's my fault. I should have thought that the 2 by 2 ribbing is growing like crazy, and I should have questioning what I am doing by the time that I finish the hem and I started to work the charts, and I had the same number of stitches. I mean, I didn't start the hem with less stitches and then increased after I finished the hem and then start the cabling. So I had the same number of stitches. So I think this is one of the mistakes I've made. I should have modified, and if I wanted to go further with a 2 by 2 ribbing, I should have had less stitches. That's the first mistake. Another mistake, I should have, and I talked about it so many times in my podcast, and for some reason just didn't cross my mind. The cast on. The cast on when working bottom up, it is essentially, it's crucial to not end up with a sloppy hem. I should have made my way of tubular cast on. I use a method, it's not mine, I didn't invent it, but so far is the one that I trust the best because it's doing the job. I didn't use that, so again, I've made so many and different garments and different construction. However, I failed with this, and I think this is something that just remind us that it doesn't matter how much experience you think you have with knitting. Mistakes come and go anyway. So, after washing this, I thought, okay, what can I do to this sweater to make it wearable? I mean, don't get me wrong, the sweater is extremely wearable. It's just me feeling ugly wearing it. I feel I'm bigger with this sweater that I am in real life, and I think this is something that it's coming from my past and me being overweight. So when wearing this sweater like this now, I feel like 2 years ago when I had almost 90 kilograms. I'm not feeling like the 70 kilograms I have now. And that's important for me, very important. And I thought, okay, what can I do? Because there is no way I can unravel this sweater. Or this is the problem when working by pieces, and especially bottom up. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is. Well, it matters because you just cannot unravel this from the bottom. This is the problem when working bottom up. But then I took a break and I thought, okay, I have to think about it, because my first impulse was to cut the hem of the sweater and to do a one by ribbing hem. Now I thought about it and I realized that it's actually it can be much easier than I thought. So what I will do, but I first need to buy another ball of yarn, and I will talk what yarn it is, because I've used, with the exception of maybe 2-3 grams, I've used almost 7 balls of yarn. So I need to buy one more. What I thought to do is to actually unravel the hem where I sewn this, unravel it up to where the cabling starts. This way I could save the thread I've used to sew the pieces together. And this way, if I have the thread, I will secure it afterwards. And once I manage to unravel up to here in both sides, I will then cut the hem. And I'm glad I didn't got the ball of yarn, because I still have to think the best way to do this. So I might put all the stitches on the needle, and I might do some decreases and then work again the hem in 2x2 ribbing. That's an option. Or I might make some decreases, but maybe not that many as the first option, and do a 1x1 ribbing hem. Because the 1x1 ribbing hem, it's not that elastic as the 2x2. I think the decreases, they need to be less decreases than if I choose the version with a 2x2 ribbing. I think I will choose one of these, but I'm not sure which one. I'm also considering go back and take part of this hem, but I'm not sure I want to do this. Now, in terms of yarn, this yarn, it is Rauma Finul. It is 100% Norwegian wool. The recommended needles for this pattern are 3.25 millimeters for the hem and the 3.75 millimeter for the cabling part. I've used the recommended needle. Another thing that I am realizing now is that, in my opinion, in my experience, personal experience with Rauma Finul, this Norwegian wool, is that the yarn has the fabric that you have using smaller needle. Of course, it is more dense fabric, but has more structure and more stability. This yarn, it is, I wouldn't say woolen spun, but I also don't know the other term that it's a loosely spun wool, and it has 2 threads. And after washing, this yarn is blooming. It has the same effect as the Rauma Fivel. So in the case of the Finul, this one, which is a sport weight yarn, and from the other garments I've made with this yarn, I feel like 3.5 is the highest that I prefer for this yarn. So in between 3 and 3.5, it's okay. But 3.75, it feels like I've made this sweater with 4 millimeter needles. I don't know if I explained this correctly or if I am making you understand what I am trying to say. This is the feeling. This is too, it's a too open, not open work, open gauge, I would say. It's too, you don't feel the structure and the stability of the fabric in this garment. And the drape is, although visually you could say that has drape, you don't feel the drape on this garment. So that's something you might want to consider when using this yarn, unless, of course, you really enjoy this type of airy gauge for this yarn, then go for it. But if not, I do recommend you to not work this with more than 3.5. And I know it's not such a big difference, you know, from 3.5 to 3.75, but you can feel this difference. I mean, the feeling is that I actually used 4 millimeter needles to get this fabric. Now, another reason for which I recommend to go down with needles is that when working this airy fabric with this wool, it's growing with wearing more than when using smaller needles. And I already could see this. And because this sweater has a lot of purling, especially here on the sleeves, but also in between the cables. So it might not seem a lot because, yeah, you see them, but at the same time, maybe the purling is not the first one you see on this sweater, if you know what I mean. But these lots of columns of purling, it's make it worth to grow when wearing, you know. It's just accentuate this growing with wearing. And I already can see the sleeves, how they behave, because, and I didn't worn this for a couple of hours or for a day or for days, you know. I just try this on. This is the third time I'm taking, I'm dressing this. So many mixed feelings. Now, the neckline, as you can see, it's very floppy and wide, and that's not something that bothers me. But keep in mind that for mine, I have with less, I think a little bit more than 10 stitches than the pattern says. I think not 20, but I think like 16 maybe stitches less than the pattern says. I'm so glad because initially this is my second try doing this neckline, because in the pattern doesn't say the ratio of the pickup for the neckline. It says the total number of stitches, but it also says approximately how many for the back, how many for the sides, and how many from the front of the opening neck. So yeah, the first time I've made it, I had with more than 20 and something stitches, and it was enormous. It was a huge opening. Now it's okay. It, again, because if I would have knit this sweater with the needles I like for this yarn, I would have definitely made the neckline with 2.5 millimeter needles. Instead, I've made what the pattern recommended with 3.25, and it's already 2 by 2 ribbing. So of course it grew with washing and it will grow with wearing. Although being such a floppy neckline, you don't force the neckline when dressing the sweater. So that might help, because there is not that much stress on the this neckline when dressing the sweater. But that's not a problem. I'm not interested in unraveling the neckline and make some changes. If this will grow to be, I don't know, unwearable, the neckline, I will just make an I-cord. I don't use elastic or things like that, but I think an I-cord will work just as fine, if not better. Yeah, these are my thoughts about this pattern. There is one last thing that kept me from finishing this project sooner. It's the color. This color just does not speak to me anymore. And I have the Dagmar sweater in the exact same color. And the Dagmar, of course, it's not the same cable motif, but it's also a cable and honeycomb panels, and somehow these are resembling with a honeycomb. Yeah, so the color was, I think, the biggest reason I was almost about to give up on this project. And yeah, it's sad that not everything that we are needing it's turning out how we thought, want, wish. But it's an experience, and this experience told me to not impulsively start the project. Maybe I should take a better look, not necessarily at the instructions, to see pictures and to read a bit more about the construction and to look better at the numbers, because I know approximately what numbers are working for me. So I should have realized this, especially at the hem part. And I know the length of the sleeves that works for me. Why I didn't realize when working these sleeves that will be a little bit longer. But again, that's not the main issue. The main issue is the, as you can see how this behaves, has no structure for this cabling. There is another way I should have done this, and even if I would have had the same number of stitches, so no decreasing or no less stitches on the hem, I think if I would have started with a provisional cast on and after assembling the pieces to put the stitches again on the needle and to make the hem, I think my result would have been a bit better, because as I've said before in a different episode, it's when working bottom up and start with a hem, you don't have weight to pull the fabric, to pull the hem while working. When working top down and you reach to work the bottom band, of course, you have weight on your needles. You have the rest of the body of the sweater. You have the yoke of the sweater. You might even have the sleeves weight. Yeah, if you have done the sleeves before finishing the body. So you probably have, I don't know, when starting the hem bottom up, not bottom up, top down, you probably have, I don't know, somewhere in between 305 or 6 or 700 grams weight of the sweater. And of course, when working the hem, the stitches are pulled different, and the structure will be different. But when working bottom up and you have to cast on and directly working the hem, you have no weight, not even after finishing the hem. You probably have, I don't know, 10 grams, 20 grams compared to a couple of 100 grams. It's nothing, you know. Yeah, these are my thoughts about the Temee. So please, if you decide to make this pattern, just learn from my mistakes. So you just end up with a much better looking and fitting sweater. I'm so upset on myself. As I've said, it's not a pattern fault, because I should have realized that there will be problems, and it's not my first bottom up construction. I had a similar problem with another two garments, and it's curious that both of them were top down drop shoulders. So one of them was the Olga sweater. I had the same problem here at the hem, was not looking good. And although I said initially I will unravel the hem I had and make it differently, I end up not doing this and gifting the sweater to somebody who is very happy to wear it and has a different shape of a body. So that's that. And I had the same problem with the porcelain sweater by Lene Holmesenso, or Lenit, I don't know what's the name. So that one has the same issue at the bottom, and I also end up gifting that sweater too. So I don't know, maybe it's my shape of the body. Maybe, yeah, I just have to remember that with drop shoulders, I need to pay attention to the bottom of the sweater, to the hem, and to the number of stitches, because even if this has more shaping than a Olga sweater or the other one, in the end, it's also a drop shoulder. So maybe drop shoulder, it's not the thing that suits my body, just like the round yokes. I don't know. I just feel frustrated because I wanted this sweater so much, and I worked so much with myself to convince myself to finish this, because I've said, okay, Maria, maybe this is not your color now. Maybe you don't want a second cable sweater in the same color with the Dagmar sweater. But if you do something nice, and it will be so nice to have different weights, because the Dagmar is a very heavy sweater. This one is light, and it feels very light and easy on the body. So I thought, okay, I will have the same color, but they will be two different weights. So still a win-win, let's say, in the end. But it actually was not a win-win at all. Yeah, guys, so I think that's everything I had to say about this sweater. Oh, maybe one thing more. It's not the first time I'm making drop shoulders. So, but it's the first time that when shaping the sleeve ended. I mean, it was shaped, but the cape of the sleeve was quite wide. And when sewing, I mean, at other projects I've made, it was a little bit rounded, because of the decreases. This one, it was just straight. And when sewing, I don't know if you are able to see on here and at the other end of the cape of the sleeve, I had to sew differently because, yeah, it was not shaped just like the arm opening of the sweater. I don't know if I make myself clear. But yeah, it worked. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I didn't realize initially when starting to sew this, and I had to rip back the sewing and redo it because, yeah, it was wrong until I figure out what I have to do. So I can definitely say that this is my failure so far this year. This project, it is a failure. But we shall see. I will take a break from it and come back to it when I feel not inspired, when I will have a decision regarding what modification I should make of what I will choose from those two I explained earlier. So I know myself, so I might very well not returning and not wearing this, which will be such a shame because I am definitely not wanting to make another one. I think I would have been more motivated if this would have had a different color. But it is what it is. It's a choice I've made. Nobody forced me to buy this color again, right? Right. To make another one. I think I would have been more motivated if this would have had a different color. But it is what it is. It's a choice I've made. Nobody forced me to buy this color again, right? Right. Regarding my leftovers yarn, like here, I cannot throw them away. My heart just cannot be separated of these leftovers. Many of them, these are just a small part, you can imagine. Because many of them, I'm stuck emotionally with these leftovers because many of them I got them after I moved to Norway in a very, very difficult financial period of our family life. And a friend, she's a photographer, she helped me with a bit of money to buy myself a bit of yarns to work some baby things just to, adapt a little bit because when we moved here, I came just with a little bit of yarns. I didn't have the possibility to and space to take them with me from my country. And I'm emotionally attached to these leftovers. I had tried before to donate them, but I guess on the groups here in Norway, I posted it's almost everybody is needing and everybody has his leftovers. So there was no interest in, I don't know, somebody to take the leftovers from me. So I have to do something. And if you have been here before, or last year at least, you might remember that I started to make some granny squares that I abandoned very fast because I don't dislike crocheting, but I don't have the patience to make big things using the crochet hook. However, I thought, okay, I don't do plans to make, okay, I will make a blanket or I will make pillows. No, I will make granny squares. And if one day I will have enough as number to put them together and make a blanket, maybe for my mother, for example, uh, it's snowing, I will do it. If not, I don't know, I will put them together in baby blankets and maybe I will find somebody to gift them. Just saying, you know. So I have them in this enormous bag. And today in the morning, I added another 20 to my bag. So I have a label from a yarn that I'm writing here. So now I have 160 granny squares. So I have the yarns combined. I have even with leftovers of mohair from a hat I've made, and it's just a lot of this one, guys. Oh my God, this is from the Knit Peaks, a yarn that somebody in USA, a wonderful lady that she was also working at that time, photography prop. This is Knit Peaks. I think it's Tweed, or I don't remember exactly the name. And she sent me this yarn in 2016 or 17. And I also have, so I had three colors. I had the red, no, I had four colors. I had red, this yellow, I had white and green, because with this yarn I've worked so many Christmas baby outfits, you know, like saddle sack or sleepy hat and sleepovers, Christmas outfits. So you see, that's why I'm saying I am attached emotionally with this yeah, this leftovers. And this is what I am doing, guys. And now I have a new basket full because I emptied already. These are leftovers from a cardigan that I've made 2 years ago. So this is spinny from Isaiah. This is alpaca one from Isaiah. This is the La Bien-Aimée leftover merino hand dyed. It's a shame that I will put this yarn in a blanket, but how much it costs this yarn, but I just don't want to think about it anymore. This is some Hillesvåg. This is leftover from my cardigan self-drafted that I made in the summer. This is from the lace cardigan from Shetland handspoon that I've made in the summer. So yeah, this is a duo from Sunnesgarn that I've made so many years ago, some booties for babies. Yeah, this is the leftover from this sweater. So yeah, this is what I'm trying, and I have more here. This is Peer Gynt, thin Peer Gynt that I held double. It's leftover from my and this one too from my my one and only Christmas sweater from Sunny's Garn. And this is the leftover from my husband Musselborough hat. It is knitting for olive merino together with knitting for olive mohair. This is the mohair that is left over from my Musselborough hat. I mean, this type of leftovers, what should I do? Should I throw them away? This cost me a lot of money. And as I've said, I am emotionally attached to these leftovers. So, guys, I will make hashtag on Instagram and I will put it here in case I change my mind. But I think I will have a hashtag make me into a blanket or make me a blanket or put me in a blanket. I don't know, something like that. I will put it on the screen once I decided. And use the hashtag if you have bits and bits and bits of leftovers. Do granny squares. I do once a day, one a day. I don't know, today I've made more because it's Sunday, so I had a little bit more time. No, it's Saturday, sorry. Don't throw them away because we paid money and it's our work here. And maybe at some point we will do something with them. So if you are like me and the thought of a huge blanket is just not scaring you, it's not motivating you, then maybe these granny squares will. So these are, I will tell you right away, it's just 4 rows, guys. I'm starting with a magic circle and then I make 4 groups of 3 double crochet in the same ring, separated by 2 chains, and that's it. And on the next one I do I double the number, and on the third row I keep increasing at the corner, and on the last row the same. So I am ending up with 16 on the last row with 16 groups of 3 double crochet. So that's it. Nothing, I will put this back here. Nothing, it's nothing complicated. And of course I am waving in hands as I go because that's another thing that I don't like, to have these ends. Yes, now I want to show you 2 books. One, I got it this morning, and one, the store where I got this one this morning ordered for me. I saw a picture of a cardigan on Marty's story, or Rowan, I think, a post on Instagram. Oh my God, I don't know if you see how beautiful it's snowing. And of course, it's not that accessible here in Norway to buy Rowan magazine, so it's not an individual pattern. However, I talked to the store and I said, "It is possible. Do you will you have this magazine number 78?" And she said, "We can order it." And I said, "But I cannot afford to buy them, the yarns that they sell." And she said, "No, you don't need to buy the yarns." And I think a week or 2 ago, I don't remember, they sent me a message that my magazine has arrived. I will insert a B-roll because it's difficult for you maybe to see it here. I was amazed about the number of the beautiful patterns this magazine has. I was just wow. And I will show you the cardigan that got my attention. But when seeing what the magazine is offering in terms of patterns, I was like, wow, but I can actually work more. So this is the cardigan I want to make. And I will show you more pictures. So this is the magazine number 78. I think it's the last one. And this is Prized Cardigan by Martin Story. So here it is. But when searching through this magazine, I also saw this one. Look how gorgeous this one is too. But also I saw this one. But also I saw the dress on the cover. I think that the dress, I have never ever made a dress, but if I will, one day I want to make this dress. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this. And there is another cardigan that is very, very, oh, and the piece that I was shocked, and I searched and I see that there is the pattern. Look at this vest, guys. So this is something that I will cast on no matter how many whips I have on my needles, you know. I will cast on this vest. I think it's perfect. And I want to show you another cardigan. Actually, there are two dresses. And here the vest, it's on a different color. And there is another cardigan. And also scarves, color work. I mean, this is absolutely amazing. It's not cheap, you know, but considering the number of the patterns, so there is this one that has color work on the back and pockets, you know, and stockinette on the sleeves and the fronts. However, I want to start the vest, but also I want to make a colorwork cardigan that I saw in the other magazine I got, and this is the number, oh, it's 77, so it's the one before this. Oh, so good. And it's called Lazy Days of Summer, and this one is called Emerge. Wonderful. But I want to show you guys what exquisite cardigan I saw here that I want to make it. I need to make this. And I think it's also by Martin Story. Martin Story has, I don't know, has such a beautiful vision. And this one, it's not this one, but this one I'm planning to make. This is a lace one. I love it. I'm shocked. I never knew they have. Look at this. This one too is so wonderful. But what I'm doing is this one, guys. Hold on. Are you ready? Ta-da! Look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful one. Oh my God. That's so good. Now, of course, this is made in a different yarn, but I will go with Aroma Finule. And I got my colors, but I'm not sure. Initially, I wanted exactly the same. So I got something like this, which is quite close. I might have made a mistake, but actually I got a quantity for this cream, which it's not bad, but I think I like more with this gray. But that's not a problem. I can always go next week at the store and change this one with this one. So that's not a problem. Now, let me tell you, I have never, actually, I do. I have worked with a Rowan cocoon yarn, something very thick. I think 2 years ago that I got it on sale for almost nothing at a store in Bergen. And I've made a Sophie scarf, shawl, not scarf. And I use it at the work. It's very warm. But that's my only experience with yarns from Rowan. Now, if there is a yarn I would love to work with, it's the tweed. Definitely. I like the palette color and I like how the yarn it feels. However, it is so expensive. I don't know how much this yarn costs in UK, but here at a store that is selling this Rowan tweed, it's like 15 euros a ball. And Rowan tweed has the same meterage as Reuma Finude. It's also 50 grams and 175 meters. So I will go with Reuma because this is what I afford. Although, oh yeah, I think the pattern recommends the soft yak or something like that. I don't know. I have to read more about it. But this cardigan, this, oh, also this sweater, look how wonderful is this one too. I think over dresses, this will be absolutely gorgeous. So this is a periwinkle, yeah, and it's made in soft yak decay. Now, I need to talk to my friend and to see if she can get me more magazine from Rowans, even the ones that they don't publish anymore. Maybe she can find them in a thrift store or something. She lives in UK. Maybe she can help me to find more because I mean, you know what's the difference? I have magazines from Sandnesgarden, but let me tell you that I have never, ever had a magazine from Sandnesgarden that I've said, okay, I want to make this, and this. So many. Never. Maybe there was one, maybe two, maybe. And not because there's something wrong with it. It just does not speak to me. It's not my style. It's not for me. They're wonderful, but to see them on somebody else, not on me. But this speaks to me. This is more me. I mean, I can see myself wearing a lot of things from the Rowan magazine. Yes, I think that was all for today. I don't know how you feel about this type of episode. I hope you enjoy it, although the algorithm of YouTube does not love me at all. So I know my videos don't reach that many of you, but it is what it is. We cannot all of us become popular in the knitting community, right? It's not about this. It's about connecting, and that's the most important. Now I will keep going with my day, trying to edit this, to publish this, and yeah, I think that's it. I will see you next time, hopefully with another project that I will be able to finish from my last year whips, and I will do that. I'm on a good path with them. And let me know, what are you working? What are your goals, knitting goals for this year? If you have special projects that you would love to work, or yeah, things like that. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.